So, chapter 47. Maxi seemed better, happier too. Once I stopped acting like she was already dead, she'd be dead sooner than was fair, sooner than I wanted. Heck, we'd all be dead someday, but we weren't dead now. We were alive. Even Maxi. It was time to live. And we did. I still was sad and angry at times, but not all the time. Not even most of the time. After a blizzard, when we had a day off from school, we made an igloo with snow and water. We packed it in, dug it out, shaped it. Rory was our construction foreman, since he'd made one before. It was big enough for all of us to get in at once. Everyone had to bend over inside since the ceiling was low, except for Maxi and me. We stood tall and proud and made the others jealous. We wanted an igloo sleepover since it was surprisingly warm inside, but the boss wouldn't hear of it and used Maxi as her excuse. Maxi's bones ache enough now without having to sleep on cold, hard-packed snow. The boss won that one. Actually, Maxi won that one. I didn't want to spend a single night away from her. We'd figured out heat did make Maxi feel better, so we heated rice bags for her to snuggle with when she crawled in bed and under the covers with me. When she was on her own dog bed, we tucked a fuzzy fleece blanket around her to keep her warm. Every Friday night, we had a pizza party. At first, Maxi walked around the room from person to person, flashing her puppy dog eyes to get sympathy, but mostly to get crust. Everyone's pizza crust. Later, when it was hard for her to walk, we put her bed in the middle of the room and we'd all sit in a circle around her and bring her our pizza crust so she didn't have to get up. And don't tell Mom, but I have the feeling she knew all along that Maxi got more than crust. Pepperoni, ham, bacon, and cheese too. She must have gotten lots of cheese because her Friday night after pizza party farts were the stinkiest ever, as Abby said. For Christmas, we spoiled Maxi at a doggy spa. When she was finished, she looked like a beanbag chair made of dandelion fuzz wearing a big red bow. She was so pretty, we took lots of family photos of her first, her only Christmas. Rory was in charge of the photos. Dad and some neighbors had hired him to help shovel snow, so Rory had saved enough money to buy that camera and lens he'd wanted. He took photos of Maxi in front of our Christmas tree, sitting next to her Christmas stocking hanging from the mantel. Plus, outside on top of a big snowbank, Queen of the Mountain, Rory carried her up. She barked like crazy up on top as if to say, "I'm the boss now! Mama Harris, take that!" The best photo was one of Rory, Maxi, and me. And Abby took it. Rory had set up his camera on top of a stool, the best tripod he could find. He'd shown Abby hand over hand which button to press and how to squeeze it slowly so it would autofocus. He told Abby he'd snap his fingers when we were ready, and then all she had to do was push the button. She did. Just one take. And when we saw it uploaded onto my computer, we agreed it was the best photo of the whole shoot. Perfect expressions, all looking at the camera and centered just so. We ribbed Abby that inside of a librarian she could become the world's most famous blind photographer. Rory took more photos whenever he came over, and he came over a lot, but my favorite photos were taken in the spring. Maxi was in more pain and having a harder time getting around, but one day, on the first really nice spring day, Maxi seemed so happy, like she was a puppy again. She found the last small patch of snow on the lawn and squatted and peed on it as if to say, "Take that, Winter." Then she limped from smell to smell on the lawn and buried her snout deep each time as if the smell of mud was the best smell in the world. But then she found a better one, and finally the best one. She rubbed her head, her neck, and then rolled in it to savor the smell. But when she stood up, I saw it was more than a smell. "Ew! What did you get into, Maxi?" I rubbed her fur to remove the greenish-brown spots, but they seemed to explode and smear all over. "Ew! It's the stinkiest smell!" I looked at my hands and at Maxi and stepped back. Then she went back to sniffing and rolling in it, so delighted and proud of herself. Rory, who had been clicking a photo after photo of Maxi, burst out laughing. "Jackpot, Maxi," he said. Abby was there too. "What is it, a skunk?" "Ew, it doesn't smell like a skunk. It's worse than a skunk. Here, smell." I went over to Abby and stuck my hands in front of her face. "Ew, ew, ew," she gagged. Rory was still laughing, but snapping photos at the same time of my hands and Abby's reaction, and Maxi as she tried to bury herself in that greenish brown stinky sludge. What was it? What do you think? I ran at Rory with my slimy hands and yelled, "Stop laughing! Stop taking pictures! Help us! What the heck is this? If you don't help, I'm gonna rub this through your hair." Rory laughed louder than ever. "Luckily, you can't reach my hair without a stepladder, Minnie, and it's a little poop." "What?" I gasped. "You got yourself some wild turkey poop. A dime-sized plop can spread to the size of a watermelon if you touch it, and it's stinkier than a whole gym full of babies with dirty diapers." Abby burst out laughing, and eventually I did too, and Maxie kept rolling in the stuff while Rory took photos. For once, the beast of the east didn't come to my rescue. I had to get out the wash tub and hose and suds Maxie up before my parents got home. I wouldn't let Abby help since she couldn't see where the turkey poop was. Rory didn't lift a finger to help, but he captured it all on film. Secret number 47. When life gives you a pile of poop, you're gonna get dirty, so you may as well roll with it.